C Mac a call, and hopefully we'll get him on momentarily. So here we go. Let's see. Yo, man, it's Kenny.
Radio station.
Yo, what's up, man?
So what? What's good, boss man?
I'm good, man. Good to have the homie C Mac on the air right now, chatting with him. He's on the show. How you feeling?
I'm blessed, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Great to be with you this evening. So let's go ahead and get to the conversation here, man. Talk about how you get started in the hip hop. How you got started in music.
But yeah, man, I've been doing music since baby since a child, man. Starting in church, but been had a love for it forever, basically. My parents was into music, so I just always gravitated to it, man.
So with that being said, so who's some of the artists out there that inspired you getting into music?
Well, my first love, like I said, as a child, Easy influenced me. I was thinking that how did this small guy uh, attract all this energy, and when everybody was doing big things and kind of bigger than life type of thing, I was wondering how this little guy was doing what he was doing. So he definitely inspired me to be what I'm being. And then after growing up a little more, Lil Wayne.
So Easy E, obviously, for the NWA, obviously, he was definitely a businessman, and he
Definitely.
looked at hip hop as a business. And looking back at his career, a lot of people may not understand it. People are just thinking, "Oh, you just rap, you good," but it's a business, and it's about results. And he succeeded. He succeeded in that regard. So R.I.P. to Easy E. Obviously, he
Definitely.
definitely left a huge mark in hip hop. So if for those who haven't watched Straight Outta Compton, that movie, go give that a watch. I've watched it several times, and it's like, man, these guys were literally they were like the hip hop equivalent of the Beatles. That to us, so they were doing big things. Him, Win, Dre, and Cube, just man, they made it work somehow with everything that was going on in their lives and stuff like that. So I've been listening to some of your songs, man. The Follow Me joint, Cold Winter, Shooting Stars. Those are your releases from this year. You're very talented cat, man. So I want to talk to you about the Follow Me joint.
Okay.
Talk about how that came about.
Well, yeah. My guy out of Jackson, Tennessee, where I'm from, his name Hits Major. Yellow Harris. He produced that beat, man, and I loved it as soon as I heard it. And as soon as I heard that beat, it was instantly I started writing to it in less than 24 hours. I had two verses and the hook together, man. So that was definitely easy. I love. I can tell with certain beats when people put their love behind it,
Yeah.
and when they do, I can easily come up with something fast, man. But I take my time with it, even though I do come up with fast stuff. But definitely, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's definitely that feeling for an artist. Like when you hear the beat, you know exactly what you're gonna say. Give it a few listens here and there, and it's like, oh, this beat is mine. That beat is mine. Tell the other artists this beat belongs to me. This is my song. And
Exactly.
so you definitely did your thing in this joint. Coming all the way from Jackson, Tennessee, I'm joined with C Mac. You mentioned to me a few days ago you was getting your music heard on a very famous satellite station, Shade 45, I believe. You got your music heard there. What was that like?
Oh yes, sir. I got to give a shout out to Big Seven at Time to Grind, radio in Newark, New Jersey. Man, he definitely helped me with that push and getting that heard by Shady 45. DJ Taj, I want to shout out to him. He's been playing it for the last, I want to say, going on 30 days now. It might be doing another 30-day stint of the track Shooting Stars.
Okay. And for those that don't know, Shade 45, that's a satellite station that's owned by Eminem. That's his station. And that station has been going on for a very long time, for a couple of decades. So having your music heard on that station and the fact that he's putting out, he's having independent artists like yourself get heard. I think that's pretty dope. So shout out to all the radio DJs that's playing your music. On that particular platform. That's pretty dope.
It's definitely a blessing, man. I don't, man. I pitch myself a lot thinking about it because I know, I haven't really been doing it a long, amount of years, and or I just started recording a year ago. I've been writing for over 20 years off and on, but I just started recording professionally a year ago. So it's definitely a shock and a wonderful feeling to know I'm on the mainstream without a mixtape or any main album out right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I read something interesting about you. You was mentioning about you getting started, in church and everything, and you had a scholarship of sorts for Ole Miss and
Yes, sir. Yes,
honor
sir.
quarter and honor choir.
Yes,
You
sir.
and you turned them down to pursue this music career.
Yeah.
So what
That's
was that
funny.
like? Just making that choice, saying, "Okay, this looks good, it looks intriguing, but I'm gonna go this way." What was that feeling like?
Honestly, a lot of it was being young and naive to knowing what the pay expenses were going to be semester wise for my parents. So I kind of took a account on myself to try to not to make that burden on them. Worried about that school scholarship, even though it wasn't a full scholarship. So I really tried to push with my music so I wouldn't really fall back on. I got a younger brother that came behind me that was experienced and wanted to do the same thing in football. So I kind of didn't want to take all the the resources he would have had or I would have had and wanted to wait for him and just push my music career. I just felt like God had a bigger thing for me and just wanted me to wait.
And for things that you have gone through since then, things are looking good for you. You're definitely on the right path. It looks like. So you definitely on the grind. Anybody knows like being an independent artist is very very challenging. Especially no label backing. Like you're doing this all on your own, literally. You're getting that core of people that's trying to get your music out there. So you coming from Jackson, Tennessee, man, and shout out to Tennessee. Shout out to all the
Yeah, shout out Jackson, man. Definitely,
Nashville, Memphis,
definitely. Nashville, Memphis.
Knoxville, all the cities, man. Knoxville, shout out to Tennessee in general. Uh, so everything with all this momentum you have, get your music heard on Shade 45. You still pushing. What is next for CMAC? What else you have on the horizon as far as maybe some music videos, maybe some upcoming shows? What
Yes,
else you have
sir.
on the horizon?
Well, definitely in September, I'm dropping my first. I'm dropping two EPs for the years. One in September and one in December. Both of them gonna be Evolve So Hard Volumes 1 and 2. So on both of those, I'm gonna be dropping 7 individual tracks on those EPs. And for 2024, I'll be dropping the album that June for the Vol So Hard album. So definitely I'm working. I got to do some more shout outs to different podcasts because people don't understand it. We got to get our music reviewed and heard by the people that we want to hear them to really get that real feedback on how our music sound. Because sometimes we listen to it so much, we may think we sound certain ways that might not be heard that way. So definitely I want to give a shout out to everybody. I want to, the first podcast I ever sent my music to was Molly Boy TV. And he reached out to me personally, and I found out that this guy was in UK. So I definitely wanted to shout that out. That was the first place I ever sent it to. And I found out, I sat on the podcast for 4 hours, but I waited patiently. He played my music, and he said that out of that whole podcast that night, I was one of the best talented rappers or vocalists, lyricists on that podcast that night. So that was a push hearing that from that guy too.
That's awesome, man. So not only are you getting your music heard on Shade 45, you're getting your music heard outside the country. Out there in the UK. That's dope.
The cool understanding. I didn't even understand where he was from. He just sent me a shout when I did my BMI and all the legal parts of, registering your music. And he got to me and said, hey, I heard your song. I would like to review it over my podcast show. Would you tune in tonight? I said, definitely. I tuned in. It was my first time ever, hearing about a review podcast. So when I did it, it was definitely cool.
Yeah, definitely shout out to these platforms.
Yes,
doing this for independent artists like yourself. Getting your music heard, at least giving it a review per se, and more, it's gained more traction back to you with your social media and with your streaming platform numbers, things like that. I think it's cool, man. So I like the Shooting Stars joint, Cold Winter. That song goes in. I definitely say Follow Me is definitely my favorite out of the 3. I like that, man.
Okay. That's definitely gonna be the next single that I'm pushing. Follow Me, definitely.
Yeah. So, with you taking this profession, you're doing this artistry, you getting your music heard. There's a lot of cats out there that's trying to get their music heard, but they don't know where to go. They don't know where to turn to or go to per se. Given you've been through ups and downs as an independent artist, what would your advice be to those independent artists that's just trying to get their music heard? What's your advice would be?
I would tell them if they really love what they do and to invest in it by trying these podcasts, these paid podcasts, the $10, $5, $30 reviews to just get an honest opinion on how people hear their music. Because, like I said, we get around a lot of friends and family that don't want to hurt our feelings because they see how hard we want to do things and might give a little softer opinion or grade on certain things. But I really think those podcasts out here, all not just the big podcasts, all podcasts, just get your music out there, and that definitely starts a chain effect of people hearing it. Because if you're good enough, people gonna share your music right there in the timeline or in the comments, or even the person that's throwing the podcast.
Absolutely, man. So where can people find you in social media as far as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, any other links? Where can they find you at?
Oh, yeah. On IG, follow me at The Real C Mac. Twitter, on same as on the Real C Mac. And on Facebook, I'm under my government, Chris McKinney. That's fine.
All right, man. So you've had a very busy week, but I want to thank you, C-Mac, for being on tonight. Great chatting with you. Sorry about the time zone mix up and
No, you
everything,
good, you good,
but
man.
but it's great chatting with you. I'm definitely looking forward to your upcoming projects. Volume 1, Volume 2 coming up in the fall, September and December. And I'll definitely keep an eye out, and I'll definitely plan on playing some of your music on my platform in the future as well. So thank you,
Definitely, man.
thank
Definitely.
thanks again for your time, man. I appreciate your being here.
Thank you, man. Like I said, it was an honor, man. Like I said, I've been checking you out on things too, and I'm, man, like so impressed on the how far you've been pushing what you're doing, getting your awards for your, being a radio DJ and hosting different events, man. So you definitely got me inspired to go harder and harder. Hopefully, you want me to be on your show once again.
Absolutely, man. We definitely can get you back, especially in time for Volume 1. We definitely can do that for sure.
Okay, definitely. I'm all for that, man.
All right, man. Well, you take it easy, man. You enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks again.
All right, thank you, man. God bless.
Oh, God bless. Love. All right.